So this part of the video is about coming to Germany as an immigrant, as an educated immigrant, and you are immigrating into Germany. So just listen to what this brother is saying and what the lady will say, and then I will add my own opinion to it.
It's like the only job Germany offers Auslanders is lager job and cleaning, logistics jobs and cleaning. You find nearly all foreigners in Germany looking for job. They are either doing lager job, logistic job, carrying of packages up and down, or driving a truck, or cleaning somewhere. You find somebody that have gone to school, 3 to 4 years of bachelor's degree in their country, 1 to 2 years of master's degree, travel and come to Deutschland to get better opportunities, spend 2 to 3 years learning the language, and then after all this process, all these years, they end up getting just lager job. So I begin to ask myself, is this the only thing Germany offers to Auslanders?
Auslander is
Because
foreigner.
everywhere you go, all the Auslanders, all the foreigners I've come across with some reasonable qualifications in education, they are all into lager jobs or cleaning jobs. It's difficult to see a foreigner with a professional job in Germany occupying a significant white-collar job in Germany. They are all into grade 1 jobs, and everybody is so pissed. I'm a student. The other day, I booked a shift at the company. It is a lager job, and I went there. I saw this Auslander woman. She's from Portugal. I don't want to call the name of the company. This woman said she has been working there for 30 years. I had a conversation with her. She said she has been working in that company for 30 years.
Lager is like where they load things. I don't know how you translate it in German, in English.
So,
yeah, offloading and loading.
It seems like Germany is disrespecting the value of educations foreigners have in this country, which is not a good thing. I mean, how can somebody with a master's degree be doing a lager job? How can somebody with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree be doing a cleaning job? In which part of the world does this happen? You guys need to do more. You need to give people the opportunities to come into the system and do things for you guys. Because it is very, very disgusting for somebody to spend all these years to go to school, to learn your language, and at the end of the day, you give them nothing. So is it the only thing that Germany offers to us like us? This video you did, you know, enter well.
Mm-hmm. So well she's saying her own now.
Why you not go well with me? What do you talk? Na lie. Not before Deutschland where we did.
Deutschland is Germany.
I believe say they see my uniform. I be student, nurse student. And I bring my secondary school results from Nigeria. I go secondary school for Nigeria, bring the result. Anna Kenna, they change her from me. I can't get it actually have shoes. Stroke me rifle. Now I enter nursery school. You see, when you say Germany, they always say that they give job to foreigners as cleaner, driving truck, lager job, bros. Now wait till they want to be that. Now their choice. German or they give you job. Now you they find your job yourself. If you want to do something, you say, I won't study for Deutschland. Now your brain you need. Nobody they tell you what you won't be. Now you know what you want. You'll sit down, you'll say, I want to be. For Jamie are one of the culture when I say, you can be who you want to be. You can be a barrister, you can be anything. No what they need from you. Now your brain. You see, when you say that people go school 3 to 4 years, language school, they no go to see end up. Because they know one. Me, I go school for 3 years, language school. I go school reach B2. For this my nursery school, I need B2 and Schulabschluss.
which is Realschule Abschluss. I get them. I go for Vorstellungsgespräch. I get my job. So, no be say Jeremy. Now they give them. Now what did they want be that? For those people when be say they come from another country, carry me degree, me I no go university. And I hope I go carry this and that come. First of all, they get rules for every education year. You need to change your certificate, create time. They go tell you say you need to do further this thing for 1 year, or you need the language of you need the language. You need to fair get language. You get some things where they say they go ask from you. Some of we foreigner we lazy to go to one. They'll first say you need language school, the CI. Some things there when you need language school to C2. Without that one, you no go get the opportunity. Because now language you take talk for you. Now language, you always they break many of us for this Deutschland. The language not easy, not be for everybody. Bros, you can be whatever you want to be for this journey. I say anything you want to be. All they need is your brain. You understand? So, German are one of the country I respect so much. They make you who you want to be. They will tell you, if you say I won't be politician, you need time. You know, before you get there, you have to speak the best Dutch ever. But you need to get certificate. You need to change your certificate from Nigeria. If maybe I not one, I not go no say that they do one. You understand? So, bros, that video, no, not be true. You know, yeah, they be. You can be anything you want to be for Jamie. I be example. I not go stop for 3 years hospital. I have the right to study for Blessedom, or I study 2 years, and then I feel do more when I want. That's my choice. They said I have the opportunity. All they need is my brain. I have to be good. You understand? So if you say you never see, now because you never work RHJ, now because bros.
Okay.
Most of we Africans or foreigners, especially we Africans, we lazy to go school. Arabu even they try, Arabu people that they like go school, then they try well. But you see, we Africans, we lazy. Some people that they feel say they're too old to still go school. Me, I did 34 years. Now the first year of my nursing, I did so. Before I finish the nursing, you're supposed to know how many years I want. They go for Itabidon. Before you know, I don't they go 40 or 40 something before I go finish study. You see, that determination matter. So my people, this one is my opinion. You feel leave your own opinion for here. You understand? So that whether what this bros talk not true, or what do you think? So have a wonderful day, everyone. I need to go back to work. Bye.
So so you know, I'm listening to what he's saying. Both of them
I don't want that TV for the background. That's somebody content. That's the only problem.
Oh, I was wondering where this thing is coming from. Oh, sorry guys, let me remove this thing. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys this part of the video, because when I listened to it, I saw that both of them are making points. You know, what I would say is, like, me personally, I don't complain. Like, I know for myself that, you know, here you're not going to meet your potential generally, like in an English speaking country. That one is a given, forget it. And again, if you are educated, like you have already have an education, I will not advise you to come to Germany, really. But of course, if you want, you know, it's a free word. But it's not a safe bet for you. First of all, you need years to learn their language. You know, so the years you are using for, let's assume, for example, if you are coming to Germany and you are educated, for example, whether you have a master's degree, whether you have a PhD, as you are getting into Germany, you will jettison it like it didn't exist, because they will not, they will be looking at it, they will not use it for you in any way, right? And even they will tell you, you know, the sad thing is, even if you, for example, you came and, like, you know, and you did that study here in their country, you are not going to make any way with it. But there's something they call Ausbildung, and that is like trade school. That trade school is like training on the job. It's just like hand work, technical jobs that you can do with your hands. And nursing is also in that category. Nursing, I think they just started nursing in the university just in 2020. Normally, nursing is an Ausbildung, and many professions, and generally in that, when you do that Ausbildung, you are just there, like there is really no social progression for you, so. And if you, at some point, I think I've said this in this video, in my video at some point, if you are doing, for example, you trained to be a painter, like everything is a skill set that you have to go and train for it. That's the issue. It's not like there's a baseline that you have to achieve in education, and then you can go and do this thing maybe 1 year, and then you can go and do this other thing. Maybe you want to qualify for this again, you go for another 1 year. They don't have that kind of thing. Everything they want to do is 3 years. So now you factor that in. Both of them are right. You factor that in. You are coming from, for example, Nigeria, and you have done your bachelor's, and then you come here and do your master's, right? And then you are looking for opportunity, and then you need to learn their language. So you are going to need about 3 years to have a good command of that language at the level you can use it to work, right? And for example, think about, for example, how old you might be. You might be, let's assume you are 25, you are 27, you are 28. Add 3 years to learn the language, right? And then add another 3 years, And so there's something they call social assistant, or you go and do something like an addendum to your WAEC. So it's like Oberschulreife, you go back, like you are going to go back to school and do something like maybe a year or a 2 years program to get their equivalent of your WAEC. And then with that, you now go into something like nursing or any other, or sometimes when you go through that one, when you go through that process to get an equivalent of WAEC, then you go to the one they call social assistant, and with that one, 2 years, you will use it to get some kind of baseline, and then from that one, before you are not able to go and do nursing. And while you are doing all these things, someone that went to the US, someone that went to the UK have already qualified as a professional nurse, if that's what they want to do, have qualified for anything, have have moved on, whatever they want to do. So that's the difference. But I feel like if you have not had any education, right, then it's better for you to come, like you now come, you don't have anything to lose. If you are here, then you can calm down. Like I know some people, like they were not opportunity to go to school in Nigeria, then they are able to, for example, go through their Volkshochschule, learn their alphabet. Like practically, there are people that they don't read English, they read German because they learned it here, that kind of a thing. So, or maybe you don't have, like this lady now, she says she has WAEC. So her WAEC, she now has to go to school, something like a secondary school, Oberschulreife, to get that qualification to enable her to go and be doing. And this nursing that she's doing now, I don't think is the real one. I don't think it is there are different categories. Maybe it is the helper, or if you are going to train Ausbildung to help, it's 1 year. Some they have the one that is 2 years, but to be a full one is going to be 3 years. So all these things is years. How old are you? Hey, Ezoku, you're welcome now. You're welcome. So how it is not an easy something. So I understand from where both of them are coming. The bottom line is most people leave most people leave, most people live with their family, most people just, up and leave. And it is not even only because of we or foreigners, but especially when you are like this, the easy, but even for their own people, for example, their own person now, for example, they studied, maybe, for example, they studied biology, right? Maybe they studied any other something, and then they are not able to find a job there. They are not going to still say, okay, go and maybe do 1 year so that you can get into this job. You have to still go through that 3 years hospital. So everything they are doing is 3 years. And that's why even many of their people, they are frustrated. They are like, once you have started doing that, you will be doing it. If you want to change, you have to go and start from beginning. And when you are doing that training, that hospital, your income will not be it will be income of a student like 1,000. It's not going to be up to anything. For example, if you have to pay rent and all those things, so most people are kind of just stuck. Good evening. Yeah, so at the end of the day, if you are immigrating, you have to check. Don't dismiss when people are telling you their experience. Don't dismiss it. I know people that did bachelor here, that did um masters here, not that they brought it from somewhere else, here, and they cannot still get ahead. They will have to leave. And there's sometimes when your family is difficult. I know one Yoruba man that even he did masters here in mathematics. Is very good. He finished in a university here, and he married here and had his children here. And then he couldn't get ahead, and he was doing so many things. He even created a new mathematics. He used this Ifa divination to create another kind of mathematics, but he couldn't get any job or something. So everything he was doing on his own, freelance, doing magazine, and then they gave him an offer to go and be teaching primary school children. That is mathematics, because he's the only one that know it, and it's fascinating. And they want him to teach in a primary school that for gifted children. So he used to go there at some point to teach them, and then eventually, something happened. I don't know what happened. God bless his memory. He passed away. Like, he had something like aneurysm, and then he went into a coma, and then after a short while, it didn't even take so long, and he passed. Yeah, so that's just it. I remember him. May God bless him. May God have mercy upon him. Yeah. So anyway, why am I saying all these things? Both of them are right. So you just have to know. You have to know. It's not good. Even when you finish that hospital, there's really not much you can do. The most you can do, maybe if it is because it's handwork, maybe you can find a way to start something of your own, But it is hard for somebody who have gotten that education, spent years, and then the person have to spend more years to learn your language, and then the person have to spend more years, you understand, to go and do social assistant. Then for 2 years, that one is 2 years. Then spend another 3 years to go and do hospital. And that hospital is for children, young people who are like 17, 18, 19, 20, that are just coming up. You go and stay in the class with them like you have not learned anything before. So it is very difficult. Meanwhile, if someone went to the USA, and they are able to tender their work, they can accelerate, they can easily do a program, and before you know it, they will just, things will just take up from there. So both of them are right. I feel like they are not ungrateful. They are saying the facts. So one is seeing it from her perspective. For example, she didn't have anything to lose. She has not gone to university in Nigeria. She has just come here. She has WAEC. And then even that her WAEC was not enough to give her access into the program, right? She has to do a prerequisite. She has to go to their own secondary school 2 years, 3 years. You understand? And before she can go to their secondary school, she first of all have to go to Dutch course, and that Dutch course, to learn German language, you need 2-3 years. So imagine somebody like you come to Germany at the time you are 25, and you first of all you learn German for 2 years, 3 years. That's you are 28, and then you go and do 2 years prerequisite. You understand? That is 30 years, and then you are going to do 3 years of there has to be eventually when they are giving it to you, and that is how many years altogether, like, and then for what, how much are they going to pay you, so it's still for you just to be able to live, and yeah. I don't know, it's laid back like that. Yeah. Anton, he said, an African doctor in Germany. Of course, there are here and there are doctors that came, and if you did medicine, of course, yeah. Exactly. That's the challenge. Imagine you are 28 and you get into a country and then you have to start from scratch. Imagine that. And there are people who have medical degrees, who have like all these Syrians, all these people, even all these Ukrainians, all these people that come from anywhere. It's not about us. But then when it becomes about this, it gets more difficult, Um, even though there are people who are medical doctors, who are dentists, who are, all these people that just came, they are professionals in different, like I met one woman, she used to be a principal or something, a principal in her country. I think she's from either Syria or Iraq. I don't know, or Afghanistan. I don't know where she came from, but she's like educationalist, and she used to teach English in her country, and she was the principal or something like of a school, and she has done that for many years, and then she ended up here. I don't know what happened, and she couldn't start anything. And then the language, you are learning the language, you're learning the language 1 year, 2 year, 3 years is not easy. And then the exams of the language are so hard. So the exams they set the exam so hard. You have the reading, writing, and listening part, speaking part, 4 parts. You have to do all that exam in one day. And then sometimes you may be good in writing, you may pass the writing, pass the speaking, but you will fail maybe like the listening part. Maybe you fail it with some point. They're not going to say, okay, maybe you come and repeat that listening part. No, you're going to repeat everything again. So it's very extremely difficult. Like I don't know what we make somebody to come and go through that kind of thing, like if you especially if you have the information. And then there is also the hope that when you are able to go through all those things, that you will able to have access into the job market. Still, it is not really that reality. Yeah. Exactly. So even if you go to even neighboring Eastern European countries, it's gonna be easier for you, because they even have international firms doing their business, their owning companies there, that they can even employ you because of your English speaking abilities. But you don't even have all those things in Germany. So yeah, so and they keep saying that they need they need how will I put it, Fachkraft, experts. They need experts. They need qualified individuals. But why would a qualified individual come and go through that, right? So if you have not gone through that process of having an education. Like that young lady, she has not gone to university, she have not gone through that process. So it's easy for her to, because now she's anticipating, maybe she's anticipating that when she becomes a nurse, and then she doesn't know that there are even the work of a nurse is the least is most restricted actually, because there is really nothing there is no social mobility basically. Exactly. I'm not making it up. It's a reality. It's a reality, but many people don't understand, and they don't understand because of their own perspective. And it's not because I'm complaining. So I'm not complaining, because some people will say, "Hey, why are you complaining?" I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the fact. Like when I see someone that is coming new, I want to ask, like, why, what is, what are your goals, what are your aspirations? Because like that nurse way that lady they do now, wetin she wan take am, go pass say you go just try dey do the same thing, get progress, so you wan progress inside. It's not like US, maybe you can do like this, then you go and do your masters. There's nothing like that here. Now that thing you go try dey do. Highest you go be practice and lighter, wey go dey teach new people something. But na the same work you go dey do, but extra hours for you. And their own work, their own nurse work no be small work o. Their own nurse work no be no be follow come. Na three people work, one person dey do for inside. So the it's a different system. That's just it. It's even a thank you. It's not even easy for the German people themselves. I remember my daughter in her school. So there's a woman there. She's an educator. She's helping with the teachers, but she wanted to elevate to become a teacher herself, instead of just being the one that is helping and taking care of the children. And then she thought that maybe she would get some grants so she can go and do the qualification. We even bid her farewell. They did party, gave her flowers, everything. I was surprised when I came back the next season. She was there. Like, what happened? She was like, it didn't work out, because she will have to start going to school for another 3 years to go and get that qualification. And she has bills to pay, and the job center is not going to help her, and she cannot get loan. Like, she doesn't have the money, she can't afford it, so she's stuck with being a helper, right? So something that you learn, maybe you do the Ausbildung. Ausbildung is like a trade school. You do a trade school, you learn a skill when you are like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all those kind of a thing. And then you are going to be stuck there and do that work exactly for the rest of your life. And there's really no progression there. Maybe you can do Weiterbildung is like, you take some extra courses, and then maybe at the most, maybe you can be the coordinator of your section, like you can't be the leader of the whole company. Of course, maybe it's, I don't know, like you can be like a subsection, a coordinator here and there, more opportunities, more responsibilities, but not necessarily more money. Normally they are not going to be paying you for extra hours, so you are not going to be saying, I want to do extra hours per se. um they will be they will be paying you, like, your salary is your salary. So if you have extra hours, what you have to do is to work less the next month to kind of equate both, all of it. So you're not going to get money for doing extra hours, and you are not going to get laid off for doing less hours. So if you are, maybe you are sick, you are not able to bring in more hours, you will have the opportunity to bring it in, to add it, to work it out. Or if you have worked more hours because of one reason or the other, a colleague is sick, you have to stand in. Then when everything is smooth again, everybody's had their place, then you will take more off, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so most of the time, what is actually like, if you look at the way the whole thing is structured, you will see that it is their patriotism that keeps them, their motivation is not money. They are content with the, like, they, I think they teach them contentment and patriotism. So, and that is what we lack. We don't have contentment. We always want more, even though we don't need more. We always want more. Like, we want, but they are more like laid back, content, like if they can't have a car, then it's not something that they are going to be shameful for. It's not something that anybody will say, oh, you people don't have a car, or something. No, they say, oh, we don't have a car, and that's it. Maybe they have a bicycle, maybe they will just take the public transport, that kind of a thing. They will just lay back. And most of the time they are not interested in living in houses. They are living in apartments, for the most general of them. Yeah, it's just for you to know where you are going to, right? So first of all, the first thing is for you to learn the language. You have to really learn the language. It's going to take you years. Remember when I first came, I did 3 semesters, only the language, only German for 3 semesters. Imagine if I went to the UK and I used that 3 semesters. Maybe I would have used it to do accelerated nursing, accelerated teaching, get into another profession, all those things, but they don't have. So you have to spend time to learn the language. And after you learn the language, you understand, that's just the beginning. A language that you don't know anything about, then you just come in, you have to learn the language to be able to speak in the language. It's not flexible, it's fixed. They only have fixed pathways. Fixed pathways. You can have someone that, even it's not only foreigners, even their own citizens. You can have someone that have already PhD, and if he feels like, oh man, I would have loved to go and teach, it's not something you just go and start teaching, right? You have to go through the qualification to be a teacher. And the worst thing is, all their things take 3 years. 3 years. All their things that you want to do is 3 years. So who has that 3 years? That's it. Sometimes, when people are young and they're striving, they want to do so much, there is no way. Then people just kind of leave it, give up and just laid back, and just, if you want to go, you can go if you have the documentation. But then sometimes you get lazy, you get tired, you don't want to go somewhere new and start all over again. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially if you have started a family, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe another person have another opinion, but this is how me, I personally see it. So the thing is not to complain. And the thing is harder for people who were born here. That's the problem. And when you were born here and you are growing up here and you have gone to school here and you are having all these challenges, it's more harder. If you are coming from somewhere, you can say, well, let me come by myself. Let me find them come. Greetings, Latunda. Yeah, most countries are, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The system is different. Like, I'm looking at a video. Somebody was saying, um in the UK, for example, an example is, like, now the UK, they are looking for workers. All this hospital, that, for example, for you to do this home care job that they are doing in the UK, for you to go and to do it here, you have to do Ausbildung. You have to go for trade schooling. It's even recently that they realized that they say, okay, the basic one, the most basic one, that you go and do for like 3 months or 6 months, but generally it used to be 3 years, everything 3 years, 2 years. Something that if you go to the UK, you take a course for like 2 weeks, right? Huh? 2 weeks, and then you are going to be doing it, but they are not doing it like that here. So it's their system. So people from this, and when they go there, they are surprised that they could just start doing something. They'll just put them through maybe a week course. I don't even know whether they put them through any course in the UK. Like people are coming, like regardless of your qualification, what if you have a master's degree, you have a bachelor's degree, then you can do a 1 year to qualify as a teacher. They don't have something like that here. For you to do teaching here, you have to have a master in education. Master in education. And you have to have the highest level of German proficiency. And that proficiency is very hard for you to achieve it because of they set the exams to be very difficult. And yeah, they are like, I feel like they don't even factor in the life of the immigrants, their years, how old they are. So you will just be doing 10 years before you know, you'll be doing all this in 10 years have passed. You have not even started. I'm telling you. So it is how that is how it is here. So at the end of the day, most people just kind of jettison anything. They'll just go and do any kind of job that puts food on the table, right? Instead of looking for a professional job or trying to upgrade themselves, there's no point. They just kind of allow themselves to, do whatever they wanted to do.